Deborah Warner doesn't usually let cameras follow her at work, but this time she's opened the doors of the rehearsal room as her cast prepares.
He's mine, he's not yours.
Fiona Shaw takes the lead in Brecht's Mother Courage and Her Children, a production which brings together actress and director at the National Theatre once again.
I think the really great plays are always in one's mind, and I think I always hoped I might tackle this play with Fiona.
He's just a child. I know your game. You get a 5 guilder fine and he gets slaughtered.
The play was written by Brecht in 1939. The audience follows Mother Courage and her family as they travel the battlefields of 17th century Europe, profiteering from the 30 Years' War.
What is fascinating is playing somebody who I don't think has ever been written before that time, which is somebody about whom the audience make up their own moral judgment. And in that way, he's also written the alienation. I'm playing it. I am on her side, but her side changes depending on her sense of practicality.
Black is death.
And for those involved in this production, the play now has a special resonance.
More news coming through from the Ministry of Defence. They've confirmed that another soldier, this time from the 2nd Battalion Royal Regiment of Fusiliers, has been killed.
3 more British soldiers from 2nd Battalion, the Royal Regiment of Fusiliers, have died.
3 British soldiers have been confirmed dead in Helmand.
What exactly we're doing now is of course in relation to our time, and is of course in relation to the audience that will be coming to this. And the audience coming to this, I mean, I've experienced it going home on Waterloo Bridge every night at 9:30, 10 o'clock in a taxi, and a breaking news item of another 2 soldiers dead today in Afghanistan. That is our context at the moment.
The opening of the play at the National Theatre also coincides with the 70th anniversary of the outbreak of World War II.
Brecht wrote it in 1939. He was in Sweden at that moment. He wrote it as a warning to the Swedes that they too should not come in, not enter this war machine. The famous performance of the play was in Berlin at the end of the war, when the audience would have walked through the ruins of Berlin into the east of the city, where the Deutsches Theater was miraculously unbombed. But the pictures of what that audience would have walked through are astonishingly powerful.
We hated the soldiers, their army took our time. I was 16.
But as well as war, there's music.
The foreign occupier grinned.
The Irish songwriter, Duke Special, has composed a new score for the production. More used to playing the bars of Belfast, this represents quite a departure.
I've always tried to include theatrical devices, I suppose, and elements of theatre within my concerts, but I've never written music for an entire play, and I was at once appalled and absolutely over the moon about it. Appalled by, I mean, completely feeling I was going to be out of my depth.
Birdsong up above, which comes to shove.
He got the job after a chance meeting with Fiona Shaw in America.
Wait and see.
I was in Los Angeles and I saw Duke play at a sort of an award ceremony, and I thought there was something weirdly Weimer-esque about him. I knew nothing about him, but he played lots of tin pots, pans, piano, and the sound of his own music had a sort of strange, very modern, and yet slightly, as I said, Weimar sound.
Many folk I've known plan to scale the highest peak. Off they go, the starry sky high overhead.
I adore music, actually. I'm a big music fan, and I love the opportunity to sort of suddenly have a Jimmy'll fix it moment, and that I'm allowed to be part of it.
If my soup was cold and the meat they served me wasn't succulent, back it went, it's worth the wait for nicer things.
But probably the first song I started with was the opening song. I thought that would be a good place to start, and I wanted it to feel like almost an overture at the beginning of the play, and something that would grow And that song's actually reprised 3 other times, so I wanted it to be something that wasn't too immediate, so you wouldn't get sick of it. So the kind of my opening shot at it really was something that would just grow and grow. And the first song contains a lot of references about war and about just the essence of the play, really. So I just wanted it to be something that was just absolutely huge and would also at times sound like all hell was breaking loose.
It will be a very big sound in there. I wanted a feeling that at certain aspects in the evening you would feel you were more at a gig or a rock concert than you were at a play. So I think we're on course for that being the case.
Making his professional stage debut in the play is Harry Melling. He plays Mother Courage's son, Swiss Cheese. Fiona Shaw has been his mother before, on screen in the Harry Potter series.
It's just a continuation of a working relationship, I think. It's just, you know, I'm so lucky to know Fiona and to kind of be in rehearsals with her now and for her to just inspire the whole cast, which is what she's doing now, really.
Sophie Stone is also making her stage debut at the National. She plays Mother Courage's mute daughter, Catherine. Sophie was the first deaf student at RADA and uses a friend to help with sign language in rehearsal.
Usually my cues come from visual cues, you know, if somebody moves in a particular direction, then that's my cue to come out here. But the way that my director works is that we cannot rely on the visual cues because the way that we rehearse is so organic that it's about experimenting, it's about making different choices, going in different directions, and we cannot solely rely on somebody moving from one point to another point and then going, oh, that's my cue to do this. So I don't work in that way anymore, and it's more about using my deafness, I suppose, my ability to lip read, as Catherine's awareness of other people and watching their every move and lip reading them, and you know, and it's a really interesting use of myself within the play in order to work around the scene so that I'm always there when I need to be.
To complete the look of the production, Ruth Myers has designed the costumes. She usually works in film.
The uniforms actually are very interesting, and I've had a lot of fun doing them, which is unusual. I hate doing uniforms, but this has given me free range because, again, rather than have specific armies, they're sort of anarchic, it's guerrilla warfare. Even when you know who is on which side, we've blurred those lines.
Essentially, what is the greatest difference between doing costume for theatre and for film?
Money.
A big and complex production, the first preview was delayed as rehearsals fell behind schedule. But now the director is convinced everything's in place for performances which will challenge and excite.
We all do come to plays with a tremendous baggage of preconception, and I feel that the moment that somebody is nodding in agreement within the first 30 seconds of the evening, thinking, yes, that's Hamlet and that'll be the skull and that's what we were expecting, I think at that moment theatre's dead. One's choice sometimes in one's choice of play or choice of opera is because one has ambitions to re-release the material within it, or to bounce that material within the new context of a new time.